All right, so I watched a movie on Hoopla called Pale Horse. I had seen this was coming out this week, and this is about an artist who basically, like, you know, for all intents and purposes, he like sells his soul to the devil or a demon or whatever the hell to be like a better artist. And of course, this like costs him dearly. We got this young girl who works at an art gallery. This guy's work comes in, and you know, they start selling the art there, and her and him start this torrid love affair. And you know, it's like her and him versus like his past and his decisions and the demons and the this and that. It feels, this whole movie felt like you know, a fantasy novel written for teenage girls. That's how this whole thing played out, like a Twilight or something, but a little more like R-rated, I guess. So 50 Shades of Grey, but with like fantasy elements. Because the film's like trying to be very stylistic and very like romantic and gothic and sexy and mysterious, and isn't, yeah, this didn't work for me at all. Now, granted, I'm not the target audience. I will admit that, obviously. But that doesn't mean that I couldn't have enjoyed it or couldn't have seen the potential that was there. Now, do I think this has its crowd? Sure. I think every film has its crowd. But I don't know. I thought this one was pretty poor. I thought that the writing in this movie was very chaotic and messy and muddled. And, you know, half the time I was just kind of honestly checked out for a lot of it because I was just not interested in it at all. So a little caveat there for my understanding of the film, because I really just didn't care. I wasn't paying attention to it as much as I should have. But even if I had, I don't think that some things, it's not that it doesn't make sense per se. It's just that things felt confusing in the moment of like, what is the importance of all of this stuff? And we have this very unique looking person who plays our artist here. And this is a person that I looked into a little bit while this was on, and they are a very prominent model for like horror art. And they do like a lot of like cosplay, a lot of makeup, a lot of like really cool artsy type pictures with them dressed as like vampires and steampunk and, you know, all the different stuff. And they have a very, very unique look. This guy has a very striking face. Like it or not, it's very striking for sure. It has very intense features all over his face. And, you know, he's in really good shape, and he's definitely like a teenager's wet dream, like a goth girl or somebody like that. But I don't know. I never bought into the romance. The movie's trying to be like overtly like sexual at times. Like it's trying to have that like sensual aspect to it. And it kind of does it with some of its other characters, but because our main girl doesn't really commit to that role, like there's no sensuality there. Because number one, she has, you know, she didn't commit to going topless or naked or any of those kinds of things. So like the sex scenes and the romantic scenes that they're trying to be like sensual and sexy and all of that stuff, they just kind of play very like reserved. And that's not the kind of film this felt like it was trying to be. It felt like, you know, because there's other people in the movie, like all these other models that are there, and they're having the sexy scenes, and they're like putting blood on themselves, and they're having like romantic scenes with other people, and they're all sensual and naked, and you know, so the film feels very adult in that way. But like the sex scene between our main two felt like they were coming out of like a PG-13 movie. It felt like that was the Twilight aspect of it, and it didn't fit the film. I don't think even if she would have like went hardcore and she would have really committed to this, and I just didn't feel the chemistry between them anyways. you know, it felt a little forced for me. The director of this movie, I guess, died before its release. Now, I was reading in something online saying, I think it was on IMDb or somewhere else, but it was some blurb that said like that this guy was going to finally be in his first feature role, Pale Horse, and it was coming soon. And that thing said it was from 2016. That little blurb said 2016 was when it was supposed to come out. We're in 2024. We're 8 years beyond that. So I don't know what ended up happening here. I know with a movie like The Evil Within, that's something that like Sean Patrick Flannery and everyone else that was involved worked on and off for years, and then the director died while trying to edit the movie together. I guess he was like chaotically like editing it together. I don't know what happened with this one at all. I don't know what the pitfalls behind the scenes were and whatnot, but this does feel like a messy production for sure. And it doesn't surprise me that the director died maybe while finishing this film, because it doesn't feel completely polished or completely thought out. It was written by 3 different people. Maybe they didn't have a cohesive vision, or maybe this is the kind of movie they wanted to make, and I'm just not the audience, and I'm just not connecting with it. That's totally possible. I felt it to be very cheesy, very hokey, very try hard, very like the artsy parts of it felt very forced and obvious, and I don't know, man, it just, none of this worked for me. I kind of sat through it honestly because the guy has like really cool hairstyles and a very unique, interesting aesthetic that kept me going like, oh, this, you know, maybe it'll get better. Maybe there's like some kind of like powerhouse bravado of an ending or like something. I don't know. I kept staying with it, and when I found out the director like died before the film even got released officially, I kind of was just like, well, I just want to stick it out, and I don't want to sit here and harp on a guy's movie when he's passed on, because that's not who I am. I don't like harping on movies anyway. But I can't honestly sit here and give this any more of a positive review than I'm doing right now, which is not much positive at all. But it does have an interesting, unique vision to it to a degree, like with the style, as I had said. It feels like something like a romance novel with the fantasy elements, as I had said, like something like a J.R. Ward book or something. That's how it looked to me while I was watching. It's all I could think about the entire time I was watching this. This feels like kind of like cheap fan fiction about a tortured artist who just wants to be in love and has like the sexy body and the cool hair and is like misunderstood, and you know, has these penetrating eyes and only cares about one thing, which is, you know, securing the love for the girl that he just met. And, you know, it's all the tropes of like romance. And I'm not somebody who is against romance in any way, shape, or form. I mean, I love romantic movies if they connect with me. This one just didn't, right? So yeah, this isn't for me. All the horror, we have some really weird CG going on this like witchy demon chick that kind of reminded me sort of like what they were trying to do with the I forget what her name is, the witch in, I think it's a witch in the Suicide Squad movie, the first one, the one everyone didn't like. Like she has like this green mist around her. Not that she had green mist around her in that. It's just she's always covered in like some kind of smoke, and she can like come up close to your ear and talk to you and like kind of possess you, and you know, there's not really much you can do about her because she's so powerful, and she's got her little minions, and she can control all these things, and I don't know. I thought the effects on her were silly. I thought the dialogue between everyone was silly. I thought the like drama and the jealousy, because like she goes out with this other guy and he's like on the outside looking in and he's brooding, and it's all just so not for me. So I'm not the target audience once again, and that's where I'm going to leave it at. not a recommendation. I don't think this is streaming pretty much anywhere else. You got it on Hoopla, and I think maybe I saw one other place, but it's not like rentable. So I don't know when its actual release date is. But if you're into those kinds of things that I'm talking about, maybe you should check it out. Check out a trailer, see if that's what you're into. The aesthetic might appeal to you. You might think this guy's like the hottest shit ever. And hey, man, if you were like super into this dude and you like really cheesy, like romance novels that feel like they're written for like 14, 15-year-old girls, but you wanted a little more R-rated, not much, because as I had said, the lead was like not committed to this kind of vision, I feel. Maybe this would be up your alley, but that's where I'm gonna leave it at. Let me know. See you in the comments. Adios.